I want to talk to you about something important today. If you're a guy in your 40s, 50s, or beyond, and you're thinking about dating or spending time with ladyboys, you're probably not just asking which one is better, Filipino or Thai. You're looking for something real. You want to know if this life, this experience, is right for you. And I get it. I really do. Because I've been where you are. You've spent decades dealing with relationships back home. Maybe you were married for years, only for it to fall apart. Maybe you've been single forever, watching women your age chase younger guys. Maybe dating has just become a miserable, exhausting process where you feel invisible. And you know what? It's not your fault. Men like us, we get the short end of the stick. The rules got rewritten and we were left behind. But let me tell you this, you don't have to play that game anymore. See, back in the day, you had no choice but to date whoever was in your town. If the good women were taken, too bad, tough luck. If you didn't like your options, suck it up. There was no internet, no social media, no way to meet women outside your little bubble. But now, the whole world is open. And I'm going to tell you about a guy who figured it out and how it changed his life. But before I do, let's talk about why this is even happening in the first place, because this is something every man needs to hear. Who looks more feminine? Now let's start with the first thing that catches your eye. Looks. If you're into the high fashion, ultra glamorous type, Thailand is where you'll find it. Thai ladyboys go all out. Plastic surgery, beauty treatments, you name it. If you like that polished, model-like appearance, Thailand is your spot. Filipino ladyboys, they tend to have a more natural, soft look. Petite, feminine, and many don't go for extreme surgeries. More of a girl-next-door charm. But here's something I want you to think about. Attraction changes as you age. I'll explain why in just a second, but first, let me tell you about a guy I know. He's 61, been with a Filipino ladyboy for 3 years. He told me, "Dave, for the first time in my life, I don't feel like I have to prove anything. I just get to enjoy it." And that's what really matters, how she makes you feel. Personality and attitude. Who treats you better? Looks might get your attention, but personality? That's what makes you stay. Filipino ladyboys, they're affectionate, flirty, and warm. They speak English fluently. At least some do. So communication is easy. They come from a culture where relationships are taken seriously, and they tend to act like a real girlfriend. Thai ladyboys, they're different. A lot of them are independent, confident, and socially skilled. They've been in the nightlife scene and they know how to handle themselves, and they're not afraid to speak their minds. But let me tell you about a different kind of story. The guy who got it all wrong. He thought he was in love and he lost everything. I'll get into that in just a bit. First, I need to talk to you about something a lot of guys misunderstand. The reality of transactional relationships. Love, money, and reality. Hey guys, I need to be real with you. Some guys hear the word transactional and get all moral about it, like they've never been in one before. Let me tell you something. Western relationships were never as pure as they seemed. I had a subscriber tell me once, back home, I paid for everything. Dates, trips, gifts, and when my wife left, she still took half. But here, I know exactly what I'm getting. No games, no legal traps, no surprises. And you know what? He's right. Let's not pretend Western relationships weren't transactional. They were. They just hid the transaction behind romance, wedding vows, and a rigged system. In the past, your dating pool was limited to whoever lived in your town. If all the good women were taken, too bad, tough luck. Think about what that really meant. If you grew up in a small town, your options were whatever women happened to be around. If they weren't interested, married off, or just not your type, you had no choice but to settle. Even in big cities, you were still stuck with the people that you met in your everyday life, at work, in your social circle, maybe through a friend. There was no reaching across the planet to find someone more compatible. Why? Because for most of us, the digital age didn't exist. There was no internet, no social media, no dating apps connecting people across countries. Unless you were a rich businessman flying across the world, you had no way to meet women from other cultures. You couldn't even see what was out there. But now, the whole world is open. A woman in Bangkok, Manila, or anywhere else can message you in real time. You can video chat with someone across the world like they're sitting right next to you. You can form connections, build relationships, and see your options without ever leaving your home. And for men who have spent their whole lives feeling stuck with whatever's available locally, this is a revolution. Let me say that one more time. For men who have spent their whole lives feeling stuck with whatever's available locally, this is now a revolution. You don't have to settle anymore. The women who were once completely out of reach are now just a click away. And in a world where the dating market back home has become hostile and unbalanced, think about it. Marriage in the West was always a contract. You provided, she nurtured. That was the deal. Then the deal changed. Now men are still expected to provide, but what do they get in return? Women who hold sex hostage like a bargaining chip? Divorce courts that wipe out decades of your hard work? A system that tells men that they have to keep paying, even after she's moved on to someone else? So let's not pretend Western relationships weren't transactional. They just hid the transaction behind romance and commitment while stacking the rules against you. At least here, the terms are up front. No fake promises, no legal traps, just a simple reality. You bring value, you receive value. No illusions, no surprises. So remember, the whole world is open to you now. You no longer have to put up with ungrateful, combative, and unfeminine women just because they happen to live near you. You have choices, real choices. And once you start exploring them, you'll never go back to thinking the old way again. And this is the harshest of the realities. You're not her love. You're her business. And let's be brutally honest. You're not her first priority. You never were. She may not even be in love with you at all. If you came to Thailand or the Philippines looking for true love without understanding the game, you are going to get crushed. She's not in love with you. She's working a business model. For most Asian women, and especially ladyboys, family is everything. It's not just about respecting parents. It's about providing for them financially. And that responsibility, it falls entirely on her. So she's just not supporting herself. She's taking care of her mother, father, brothers, sisters, cousins, and sometimes even extended relatives. If she doesn't provide, she's a failure to her family. And that's where you come in. To her, you're not just a boyfriend or a husband. You're an income stream. It's not personal. It's survival. And you will always be last place. Now, in Western culture, we grow up believing in mutual love, partnership, and building a future together. But over here, you will never be first. Her mother comes first. Her father comes first. Her siblings come first. Even the dog comes first. One time I had a 20-year-old ladyboy in the Philippines to ask me to sponsor her father's birthday. When I asked, "How old is your father?" she said, "I think 45. At the time, I was 61 years old. I didn't tell her, but inside I was thinking, are you out of your mind? I'm older than your father. And my Western thinking immediately kicked in, and I thought, there is no way in hell that I'm going to pay for your father's 45th birthday. He better get out there on the farm and get to work and buy his own birthday cake or have mom make the cake." And I wasn't mad at her, because to her it made perfect sense. Why? Because in her world, she's responsible for taking care of her parents no matter what. And since she doesn't have a job, her job is to extract money from me. She likes older men because of stability, not love. A lot of guys think she likes me because I'm mature, because I treat her well. No, she likes you because you have a pension. You have stability. You're predictable. And because your money might save her family. The Disney love fantasy versus the brutal truth. Western men grow up in a Disney fantasy of what love is supposed to be. She loves me. I love her. And we're going to build a future together. And she sees me for who I am, not for what I can give. And we're equals. Well, that's not how it works here. Here's what actually happens. You are the ATM. She will act out the love you want to feel for as long as the money keeps coming. And she is a professional at making you feel loved because that's her survival skill. The love, it's an illusion. Affection, it's part of the job. I've been with enough ladyboys to know this firsthand. Even after just 1 or 2 dates, they will attempt to extract money from me for themselves and for their family. Rent is due. Mama needs medicine. Her sister's school fees are overdue. It never ends. She's not falling for you. She's fulfilling a role. Sometimes they come from some extreme poverty, but also from a culture that expects them to provide. If she's a ladyboy, she has almost no job opportunities. If she's not educated, her only skill is attracting men. She's been taught since childhood that her value is in how much she can provide for her family. So she plays the part. She creates the perfect love story for you. She tells you everything you want to hear, and she treats you like a king. And while you're sitting there thinking, wow, she's so devoted to me, guess what? She has 5 other guys sending her money. And the most dangerous trap, you think she's different. Every man thinks, my girl is different. And that's the #1 way to get destroyed. You think she really loves you. You think you're her only guy. You think, this time, this one is special. Meanwhile, she's buying land in her name. She's setting up a house for her cousin, who is actually her husband. She's sending money to her family while making you believe she's struggling, and you won't realize it until it's too late. The ATM never stops until it's empty. This isn't a theory. I've seen it happen over and over again. Guys send money for years thinking they're building a life with their Asian girlfriend or ladyboy. Then one day, she vanishes. Well, that house you bought, it's not in your name. You can't buy property in Thailand or the Philippines. The man that she said was her brother, actually, that's her boyfriend or husband. You just financed their future together. You had the wool pulled over your eyes so gently that it felt amazing while it was happening. The soft kisses, the endless compliments, the nights she told you, I love you so much, baby. It all felt so real. Until you woke up and realized you were nothing more than a money stream. You were the business transaction. Men talk about multiple income streams like it's a smart business move. Well, guess what? You were one of her income streams, just like the other 5 guys sending her money. She never loved you. She never wanted you. You were just her job. The same way a used car salesman tells you, this is the best car ever. He knows it's garbage. He just wants your money. And when you drive off the lot, he's already looking for the next guy. This is what makes men want to jump off a building. This is why men lose everything here. They fall in love with a lie. They give everything they have. They're completely in love with this illusion, and when the truth hits them, it destroys them. Some men never recover. You're walking into a system designed to extract as much as possible from you, while making you think you are the luckiest man alive. The only way to win? Never give more than you can afford to lose. Don't let yourself believe the fantasy and accept that you will always be last place. And who knows, just from human to human, she might actually like you, might love you being around. You're a helpful guy. You come last. I think the vegetables from the garden come before you. Now, you can enjoy yourself, you can have a good time, and leave with your sanity intact. Just don't fall in love. Enjoy the illusion, enjoy the fantasy. Do not fall in love for real. If you can't do that, well, we already know how that story ends. Now, here's the big deal. I've told you guys all about these golden opportunities of a lifetime. But if I didn't tell you some of the harsh realities of it, well, I wouldn't be your friend, you wouldn't be mine, and you'd probably want to challenge me to a duel, or worse. When you do find out, do not hit delete under any circumstance. When you finally find out what's going on in the whole scheme of things, some of you are going to want to hit the delete button. And you don't need to do that. You just need to remember who you were, who you are, and who you want to be, even in the face of practically losing everything. Okay, you've been warned. Here we go. This is a cultural game that can ruin you. There are some extreme pitfalls that can destroy you if you don't know what you're walking into, and not just hurt you, not just take your money, destroy you. And it's all because of one simple truth. You're stepping into a completely different game where the house always wins, and you don't even know the rules yet. You've been scammed before, probably many times, just in a different way. Wherever you come from, you've already been exposed to scams, manipulation, and power plays. The shady lawyer who strung you along, the real estate agent who rushed you into a bad deal, the woman who made you pay and pay and pay for years, then left you for someone else. Guess what? The exact same thing exists in the country you're heading to, except it's completely different from what you're used to. And that's what makes it dangerous. Because you're walking into a rigged game. That beautiful, sweet, affectionate lady or ladyboy you just met, she already knows every angle. Her friends know, her family knows. Her entire social circle has been playing this game for generations. And it's not personal. It's just how life works there. It's the same as if she landed in your country completely clueless, and you and your friends decided to have some fun teaching her the rules. But here's where it gets really bad. You think you know a lot, and that's your biggest weakness. By the time you reach your middle, late 40s, 50s, or 60s, you've seen a lot of bullshit. You've been through enough scams and tricks to recognize when something feels off. And because of that, you might think you can handle this. You're not a fool. You've been around. You know how to read people. But here's the harsh reality. You don't know this game. This game has been refined over generations. I mean, it's an art form. And the second you start thinking, I've got this figured out. You've already lost. This can absolutely break you or worse. I've seen men lose everything. I've seen men go completely insane from confusion. And I've seen men literally want to delete themselves over how badly they were played. Because they didn't just lose money. They lost trust, lost faith, lost years of their life. Some men never recover. This isn't about being paranoid. This is about being brutally honest with yourself. There's some things you can do and you're going to need to do, and you're going to have to learn how to protect yourself from getting wrecked. Whatever you like, she will take you there.
Yeah, I can do. Many people went to see my body are amazing.
Oh,
Very amazing body, very sexy.
yeah. Now, I've never seen her sexy, amazing body. I just see the beautiful face. So, maybe for my birthday's in 13 days, I will see the sexy, beautiful body.
Yeah, I can do. Maybe I have only underwear.
Oh, for my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a happy man. First of all, don't believe you're the exception. Every guy thinks his situation is different. That's exactly what they want you to think. If you feel like this one is special, step back and question why. Number 2, move slow, no matter what. If she's pushing you for money, commitment, or big decisions early, that's a huge red flag. Stay in control of the pace. And number 3, observe before you act. Watch how she treats others. Pay attention to what her friends encourage her to do. Look at what kind of men she's been with before. Number 4, never give more than you can afford to lose. This isn't just about money. It's about your sanity, your peace, and your future. If it's going to destroy you if she walks away, you're already too deep. And when this all begins? The game starts the second you land. From the moment you set foot in that country, the game is being played on you by people handing you your luggage and doing your tickets. Just the same way that happens where you're from. Not that people are waking up that day to be malicious, but they know you're the foreigner and they have the advantage of how life works wherever that place may be. So ask yourself, are you walking in blind, or are you ready to learn the rules before you lose everything? Because this game has no mercy for men who don't pay attention. Pay attention. The Poor Man's Passport Guide, out.